how I gained 10 kg of muscle in 2.5 years. So in this video, I'm going to go through the 4 key points that I think made the biggest difference for me. And I hope this helps you if you're looking to do the same. So let's run it back to 2023 when I stepped on stage. I weighed 92 kg and it was clear to see from the photos, from the comparisons with the other competitors, that I simply needed more muscle and better conditioning with that. And I could have easily gone into the finals. I qualified for the British finals, but I didn't because I simply wanted to be bigger. I knew I needed to be bigger, and it was pointless spending more time in a deficit when I know I needed to be bigger. So here's exactly what I did from the 2023 show to my most recent show this year. Number 1, I absolutely nailed my reverse diet. So 3 days after my show, I got my reverse diet sent from my coach and I was straight on it. So I had a couple of days off plan and then straight onto my reverse diet. This is where I took my calories straight up to a maintenance. So that was around 4,000 calories straight off the bat. And I nailed that. I wasn't binging. I was simply eating clean foods. I was hungrier than ever. I was eating 7 meals a day at the time, but I was nailing it. After a contest prep, your body is simply like a sponge, and you can gain a lot of muscle in a very short space of time because you are simply so insulin sensitive. Your body just soaks up all the food so much. Like I said, I was eating 4,000 calories a day and I was starving hungry. I had to literally have 7 meals in the day to stave off the hunger. So yeah, make the most of the reverse diet. A lot of people will just binge post-show and slam in a load of cooking, eat all the takeaways simply because they're hungry, and they literally lose that insulin sensitivity very quickly. They accumulate a lot of body fat very quickly to a point where they're going to have to probably diet pretty soon. So if you nail it the first time around, you literally set yourself up for a very productive bulking phase. The second thing, I got stronger than ever. So obviously progressive overload plays a key part in building muscle, and that's exactly what I did for 2.5 years. I was progressively getting stronger each session to a point where I was lifting weights that I never thought I could lift. Like, it was getting to a point where I was going into each session like, fucking hell, I'm actually lifting that. To a point where like, the biggest dumbbells in the gym I train at, the 80 kg dumbbells, I was repping them out. Like, I was stronger than I've ever been, simply because I'm a firm believer of weight moves weight. I was heavy, I was eating a lot of food, and I was using that in the gym. So you can eat all the food in your life, but if you're training performance and you're not progressively getting stronger in the gym, you're not really going to be doing much with all that food. So you need to be actively getting as strong as you physically can in the gym and using all the calories and using that weight you've got behind you to lift heavier. So yeah, I got simply the strongest I've ever been in that off season. So number 3, I ate big and also I stayed big, which I think is just as important. So my calories got way over 7,000 calories a day. For literally about 6 months of my off season, I was eating over 7,000 calories a day easily. And I was heavy. I got to literally 127 kilo was my heaviest. And I think more importantly, staying that heavy helped me with my training, my lifts. I got super strong, the strongest I've ever been. And I think it was mainly because of being so heavy. I'm a firm believer of weight moves weight, and being that heavy enabled me to be that strong. So yeah, I was 127 kilo and I held that weight for 6 months. The last 6 months of my off season, I was 127 kilos. So that's like over 20 stone, which is crazy to say now. So yes, a lot of people will take up their food and their calories and they get heavy, and as soon as it kind of gets uncomfortable, they want to pull back. Whereas me, I know it was uncomfortable, and in that uncomfortable stage is where you simply grow. And yeah, I was heavy, I was sleeping all the time, I was sweating loads, I was out of breath quite easily. It's a lot of weight if you think about it. So yeah, it was very uncomfortable, but I knew it was what was needed to gain the muscle and to keep my lifts as high as they was in the gym. So eat big, get heavy, and more importantly, stay there for as long as you can. And then number 4 is I use mini cuts strategically. Going up with your calories, you're going to eventually get to a point where your insulin sensitivity and all that sort of stuff. Digestion goes a little bit. So you have to kind of use mini cuts strategically to keep appetite in a good spot. So I was taking my calories up to a point where it was getting to a point where I literally got to my next meal, didn't want to eat. So it was at those points and where body fat accumulates a bit too much, where you have to kind of pull back a little bit. So with a mini cut, this was simply just like a 4-week kind of aggressive diet, bringing the calories down. I still didn't come under 4,000 calories, bearing that in mind, but I went from like 7,000 calories down to 4,000 in the space of like 4 weeks, and then I would climb back up. So it's just getting your body kind of sensitive again. And yeah, it was very, very good for kind of keeping my body composition in check, not getting too fat, not getting too sloppy. So I did 2 of those throughout the 2.5 years. So when my digestion simply went and the look kind of was fading, I was getting a little bit too fat, I would use a mini cut. I put a mini cut in there, 4 weeks, just aggressive kind of fat loss. I say aggressive, but like going from 7,000 to 4,000 calories is still kind of aggressive in 4 weeks. But yeah, I would get hungry again. So I was hungry again on 4,000 calories and then would climb back up. And we did that twice. And I think that was just a great way to kind of keep the bulking phase alive in a way. So I was still able to push and lift heavy with those calories being where they were. So yeah, I think when you get to a point in your bulking phase, you need a little bit of a pullback to then push on again, sort of thing. So yeah, use mini cuts strategically if you need them. So yeah, the biggest take home from this simply is that building muscle takes time. Like my bulking phase wasn't 12 weeks, it wasn't 3 months, it wasn't even 6 months, it wasn't even a year. Like I committed to 2.5 years of solely eating big and getting big. And that's sometimes what's needed. Like a lot of people nowadays, they want to stay nice and lean, keep looking good throughout the year, and they're afraid to kind of like push the calories up, sort of thing. And I was the opposite. And I think I've made probably double the amount of progress in that phase from simply taking my food so high, getting as strong as I did. If I had stayed nice and lean and didn't really push my food very high, I think I definitely wouldn't have made as much progress in that time. So if you want to make a significant change in your off season, don't be afraid to eat. Don't be afraid to accumulate a little bit of body fat, because it helps, in my opinion. You kind of need it to gain muscle. So don't be afraid to push the scale weight up, push the food up, and basically get uncomfortable with it. It's needed, in my opinion. So yeah, and like I said, it's paid off. So when I dieted down this year, I ended up on stage at 102 kg. So I've gone from 92 kg to then 102 kg. I'll put some pictures on the screen. And the improvements are massive, like not just like my top half, mainly where I needed improvements, but also my legs have improved. And with that, when I came down, my condition was a lot better on stage as well. So I was a lot more conditioned simply because I had more muscle. So it's hard to get that condition when you haven't got the muscle there. So with more muscle, it makes the condition come a little bit easier and you can see it a lot better. So I think from my rear photos, you could see it more on like my hamstrings and stuff, where I simply had better conditioning. And my overall size, mainly the top half, improved massively. So I was very happy with the results, and I was very happy that that big kind of off season had paid off. So sometimes you just need to give it time, spend time eating, spend time lifting heavy, getting uncomfortable. And that is, in my opinion, the best way to build muscle. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.